First of all, congratulations on Haunt season. It's a
Thank
fantastic
you.
watch. Very unique movie. Uh, Being the writer of this, where did this idea come from?
Yeah. So my buddy Steve, who owns the Realm of Terror haunted house, that's the haunt that we shot in. Like I met him a couple times. I work for a YouTuber named Rob Scallon, and he does music videos, and we shot a few music videos at Steve's place because it looks so gnarly and awesome. And after one of those music video shoots, Steve and I were just hanging around talking about the 13 Ghosts remake from the early aughts and how much we loved it and all of the ghosts in it. And he was like, we should just make one. We should just you make this stuff. I love this stuff. Like we all make this stuff. Let's make it together. And so I was like, killer, dude. And I just wrote a haunted house movie that took place in his haunt for the Halloween season.
Interesting. Also you're also the director. What was it like, taking a script you wrote and uh, you know, being the director, making sure that the actors gave you the performance that you thought you wanted, when you were writing it.
Yeah, the very best part of directing is watching the actors do something that you didn't expect with it. For me, like that's my favorite part. I love doing the gore effects. I love doing all of the cool camera work. My favorite part is when an actor takes something that I've written and brings it to life in a way that I didn't expect. And to me, that's them living in the character. So I also kind of gave them a little bit of room because I hired a bunch of people who were really good at kind of taking what I wrote, hitting the beats that I needed them to be, and then also just elaborating upon it in character. So a lot of those conversations are almost exactly that, but not quite that, because they would just bring themselves to it, and it made it so much more rich and so much fuller. I love what they did to it. I was happy to watch.
Definitely. And your cinematography is something incredible. For haunts, you don't have much space. So what kind of discussions did you have with your cinematographer in order to get that intimate feel in this film?
Yeah, Alexander Lakin was our DP on this, and he was very much about wanting color. He wanted to bring a lot of color into it, and I wanted to originally make it 235, like anamorphic, like cropped, like Halloween, like a really thin screen, letterboxed. And he was down. He was like, "Let's do it. Let's make this an anamorphic movie." But when we got into the tight spaces of the haunt, we really needed the extra room, so we just shot at 16:9, which is good if you're going to the VOD market anyway. So. But in terms of that, we used a lot of wide lenses inside the haunt because we are inside the actual Realm of Terror haunted house. And all of those details there have been there for 20 plus years, Like they've been building that place over years. And we could only shoot like a little fraction of it. But within each of those rooms, we had to get as wide a lens as possible. Many times it was like a 16 millimeter or a 24 millimeter just so that we could get the width inside of the tight spaces that we wanted. Sorry, I'm sorry, that got a little technical.
No, that's perfectly fine. I think it answered the question perfectly. Because that leads into my next question. For your editor, he used third-party views, first-person views, and security cam placement. Was this how you envisioned it, or was this something that the editor brought to it himself?
I actually edited it as well. So it was very much as the director intended when we got into the edit. It was also just a matter of taking once we got into the spaces, I had my shot lists, I had my things that I wanted to get. But then this was my first time working on this scale. I was used to like web series or YouTube videos, which I'm just running in, setting up lights, and we're kind of like documenting things when I work with Rob. Um, but for this, like the whole lighting team came in, and Alex, his gaffer Chris, they needed their time to kind of like sculpt the lighting of the environment. So I was like, it was a matter of taking what I wanted to get and peeling it down to the essentials and getting just what tells the story the cleanest. And so when I got into editing, there wasn't a lot of choice left. We made all the choices on set. I was like, the best, we did a lot of long takes in this movie too, because I really like to watch an environment play out and an actor have time to exist on screen. And so editing was kind of just a matter of like connect, 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 done.
Wow, that's awesome.
Uh,
Being the writer, director, editor, and sculpting this, how easy is it to enhance things as you go along?
well, so in the edit, you're kind of stuck with what director Jake decided on the day. And I mostly was I was just really pleased at the end of the day, like how alive and vibrant our cast turned out to be. That was as since they click with the characters, that is the thing that pulls me into a story the most. I want the characters to be distinct and I want them to be coming from a place. And every one of our actors delivered so beautifully on that. The rest of the story beats, I mean, they're just basically like, tension building or action sequences that kind of you just piece together piece by piece. So it was it wasn't difficult at all. It didn't have to be reshaped much at all. It from the idea I had in the script to what we shot on the day to the edit, like not much of it really changed. Except for the opening. The opening actually changed quite a bit. It was a lot longer, and when I got into the edit, I was like, okay, we've seen the slow like 90s slasher movie opening 1,000 times. I'm going to take that sequence, I'm going to cut it down, we're going to make it an opening title sequence, and then we're going to get into the rest of the movie. So, like, that's really the only thing that changed.
That's awesome. And you've been talking a little bit about your cast, but what was the process in getting this cast other than, Rob, which you work with? This cast did an amazing job in bringing these characters to life. So what was the process in
Thank
cast?
you so much. I'm so, so proud of everything that they did. Rob is a natural on camera. I was surprised at how well he died, actually, because that's not something that, if you're natural in front of the camera, you're going to automatically be good at dying. He was above and beyond. Craig, also another YouTuber, also Wheezy Waiter on YouTube. He was in my web series before this. He plays Seth, the escape room worker.
Mhm.
And so those are the guys I knew ahead of time. And then the rest of them we cast. We just got on from local area. We did a bunch of virtual auditions. And then we met a few of them in person for callbacks and just pieced together a cast that I cannot believe we got so lucky with. Except for Knife in the Head Bradford over there. He's actually the haunt owner as well. That's Steve. Steve played Bradford. He owns the haunt and he got to act as the owner of the haunt in the movie.
That's awesome. And filming in a haunt, how much liberty did you have it to change scenery as you went along? Were you able to play around with the scenery, or was it set? This is the way it's going to be, and you can't move it.
It was all set. Everything was set everything was as it is, except for two rooms. There is a completely red room and a completely green room, and they border each other in the movie. And the reason those two were built, we built those actually in the back of a semi-trailer. Like, they couldn't be in the haunt themselves because we actually had to build a wall because we wanted to cut through with a chainsaw. I mean, I don't know how much to say really in terms of that, but like we couldn't just chainsaw through the rooms of the actual haunted house. So that part had to be built just specifically for the movie. So when you're watching the red room and the green room that border each other, those are the only two that are not situated as that in the haunted house.
Awesome. Well, this is a fun watch. I enjoyed it a lot. So thank you very much for
Thanks,
your
dude.
time, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm just so excited people are watching it now.